June, the month of weddings, starts on Friday. The month of weddings and June. If you're planning your wedding, family relationship health specialist and counselor Anthony L. Gordon wants to give you some advice before you walk down the aisle. My good friend, so good to see you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, welcome. I hope everyone is okay.
So far, so good.
You, I don't know if I should say, had the privilege of writing in this book here that has the prince and princess on the cover.
Yes.
How did that come about, sir?
Duchess.
Is Duchess?
Well, actually, I was conducting sessions in England last year. And, you know, family relational health.
How did that come about in the first place?
Well, I was invited by a group to come up there and do the sessions.
Okay.
And while I was in session, the editor for this magazine, the South England Communicator, asked me, could we do a special edition on the title of Relational Health? And would you write an article for it?
It goes to show you that love is love is love.
And
you're
I
part of the world
went
that
ahead,
you go.
and I was told just this morning that a copy of it has been sent directly to the royal couple.
Aye.
So,
fantastic.
So they're reading,
Congratulations.
so they're reading my article.
I love that. So relational health
Yes.
means, for those who are watching,
Okay, when we talk about health in mainstream society, we tend to focus only on the state and function of the body. But there's another aspect of health, which is our psychological health, which is the state and function of the mind.
Psychological.
And you see, all human relationships begin and continue to exist in the mind. So we cannot just take relationships for granted. It's a state of health.
Stop, sir. What do you mean it begins and stays in the mind?
It means that, for example, when I first saw Dolores, you know, I've got to go there.
God.
Yes,
Here we go.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I saw her, and that picture, that's about 40 years ago, is still in my mind.
But that was, you saw her, but she looked physically.
Yes, first of all,
Right.
she attracted my attention.
Right.
Hey. And so it is, all human relationship begins with that seeing, that perception, and as it develops, it stays in the mind.
That first look stay in your mind?
Oh yes, if you put a camera in my mind now, you can get a
Your
picture what
mind's
she look
eye.
like. Oh yeah.
But the truth is that your relationship will not survive if your mind is not stimulated.
Correct. That is the point. That's why the
Right.
mind has to be active and sound for the relationship to be there. Healthily is another issue. It must be healthy. So you must have positive signs. Connection, rapport, bond, and support. Those are the four vital signs
them
of a
again.
healthy relationship.
Connection,
Connection,
rapport.
rapport, bond.
If it's
And
rapport, you're in trouble. Go around your ears.
You see, rapport is where you speak and hear. Right.
Listen more
That
than
is
hear.
correct.
Is there a suggested time? Because some people are together forever.
Yeah.
I was speaking with my brother. They're married 48 years, and he said they've been together 58 years. But then some people get married after 2 months, after a year,
Yeah.
after 3 years. Is there a suggested time that you should be together before you decide to get married?
In a general sense, we recommend, we in family counseling recommend 18 months, 2 years is a healthy time for the couple to really be together, to learn, to understand each other, develop with each other. There is also a challenge if the relationship, if the courtship then lasts too long. The drawn-out period can be filled with tension and anxiety, which is not healthy.
So that means if it's too long, you shouldn't get married?
No. We're not suggesting that. But we're saying it is better if it is not drawn out. But for various reasons. I have known of cases where persons who have been in a relationship for 20 years. They actually, one went abroad and came back, and they're married and living happily.
But you people who are engaged for 10 years,
That's long. That's
like, are you doing it or are you not doing it?
That is the point.
Yeah.
And sometimes somebody might just get a little tired
Yes.
and
then-
see, and I'm gone.
Yeah. And what about, okay, so we've established 18 months to
2 years, yeah.
years. But love at first sight is a thing for some people.
Oh yes, it does work, you know.
Yeah.
It does work. I've known of cases in my practice. I've seen persons that, you know, we saw each other and in a couple of months we're married. But I said, that's the exception. And we do not advocate that. But at the same time, if when I'm doing premarital counseling and I see evidence that people are really, you know, the vital signs are intact.
Strong.
Go ahead.
Even if it's a short courtship.
Yeah.
Because I think the Prince and the Duchess, I don't think they were seeing each other for that long before they got married. I think it was months.
Right. And based on what we're seeing, it looks good, and we can only hope and pray that it's stable.
Yeah, when you just said that if you see that everything look right, even if it's a short period of time, well, what is everything looking right?
Okay, number one, no one of the two parties should be the one who is pushing and forging for the relationship to be kept. It should be mutual. That's one key sign. Another key sign is the fact that our goals in life must synergize. If I cannot be having an intention to, and you're going the other way. After all, we're going to get married, we're going to be living together, and we want to be happily ever after.
But we're still two separate people.
Absolutely.
So how do you blaze your own trail, even while staying true to the union of
ideally, we should try to make those two trails synergize, as I said, so that your success is my success.
Gotcha.
You got it there, I got it here, but we both participate.
I go back to the Prince and the Duchess. They're obviously two totally different people from different backgrounds, from different countries.
Right.
He's royalty, she isn't. She probably has to change what she was doing, acting.
Yes,
Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
It's called adjustment.
And sacrifice.
And yes, adjustment. And you see, the key word, first of all, is really commitment. Do I really love him, love her? It's the ones that is genuinely in place, adjustments can flow. It doesn't mean that adjustment is a flick of a switch, but people over time can grow into each other as they positively adjust.
Were you counseling these two young people? And you know the differences, and she has to give up acting, and she has to move from her country, and she now goes to see her mother. What would you suggest to her? What would you say to her to understand or to find out that if she really can handle this? What would you say?
First of all, I want to understand what drives her into this. The key factor, you know, is that she loves this guy. That's the underpinning factor. Then, of course, she's aware of what she's going to give up, and that she's prepared to give them up happily because she sees what she's looking forward.
Is there an imbalance? Because he's not giving up anything.
Well, let me share this with you. When I'm doing premarital counseling, I use this sign. I said, if one is perceived to be here and the other is here, there are three ways you can make the adjustment. Do you do this? Or do you do this? Or do you do this? That's the ideal. We both make the move, and then
Go ahead. But I was just going to say, generally speaking, is it advisable for somebody to give up their entire self?
Right.
To be with somebody, to change ostensibly who you are?
I am very concerned about the concept of the entire self, because look, at the end of the day, I am me, and you're going to be you. Again, it's adjustment. I do not believe, I'm not seeing why you should throw off everything that you have ever been.
Which is the reason I asked you about Megan.
The challenge is there, but at the end of the day, balance is critical.
We have to go.
Good to see you, sir. Wow. Congrats again, sir.
Counseling, very important, ladies and gentlemen, before you get married. Right, Sir G?
Critical.
Critical.
I think we should have counseling even before you decide to work with people, because you end up finding out some
I see where this is going.
No, sir, I'm just saying we might need you, because you end up finding out some things that you probably didn't know before you start to work with your partner as a co-host.
22 years later? God no? God no?
Are we not divorced? No, man. We win.
It's not by choice.
So you didn't want a divorce?
I am rusted to work, and I'm rusted to work, and I'm a professional.
She never wanted a divorce, but I'm sure he's the family relational health specialist and counselor, Anthony Gordon.
Strange superstitions about duppies after the break.
It never said nothing about duppies.